Welcome, traveler, to the Society of BS. I'm Christine.
And I'm Selena.
Tonight's episode of A Beautiful Sunday podcast is an open transmission. No planned segments, no rigid format.
The channel's open, the signal's a little unstable, and we're letting the conversation go wherever it wants.
We're sharing stories, following tangents, and taking you through whatever comes through the static. This transmission: ghosts, hauntings, and the paranormal.
Ooh. Well, this is our first open transmission.
Yes, I think sorry if it's a little jumbled and
A little disjointed.
and crazy because we haven't done this yet.
But essentially, we wanted a more open format to be able to talk about like experiences and things that we have gone through or feel or, as it says, stories, tangents, whatever comes through.
And we'll try to keep it to the typical 15 to 20 minutes of episodes that you get, but if we get on a tangent and it goes longer, we're not sorry.
Well, this episode is about ghost hauntings and the paranormal, and of all the people I know, I feel like you have had the most experiences with this.
No, I have. It's on several occasions. I'm trying to think of like my earliest experience, but I was always like scared as a kid, so
I think we all were.
yeah, so I think maybe like I had some early on experiences that might have been just like my imagination or trying to be my imagination. I think when I was younger, like our sister Monique, she had a lot of weird things, or things would happen with her, or she would say weird things.
Oh, yeah.
I remember our house, we lived in Colorado.
This is definitely, when I think of your quintessential, like, spooky story, this is where my brain goes 100% of the time.
Yeah. So what I mean, there's very little that I remember. One of the things that like my mom has kind of told us is that one night my sister woke up. We used to sleep in the same rooms, like
on a mattress on the floor.
Yes, the three of us girls. And one of the nights, our middle sister went to my mom and told her, "There's an old man staring at us, standing over us."
Right.
Like a creepy man.
But do you remember how she woke up?
No.
Okay, so at the time, we had a dog.
No, this is a different story.
This is a different story? Are you kidding me?
Stories.
There were two of these instances?
Yes, there was two instances.
Okay, well, I guess I'm behind on this.
Yeah, so that was just one night that happened.
She just woke up multiple times?
Yes.
That's even
creepier.
Twice
that I can remember, right? So that once was that time where she said she woke up in the middle of the night, went to my parents, and told them there's an old man in our room staring at us.
Okay.
So that was the one. The other one that you're leading to was we were all hanging out downstairs watching TV. We had a dog, Jack Russell Terrier. His name was Jake.
And he was the most loving dog. He was really protective of us girls.
Very protective of us girls.
Like, when we'd be in the backyard, whatever, if anybody, any stranger, anybody came up to the fence, whatever, he'd be barking his head off. But with us, he was the sweetest dog.
Loved him. He was the best dog. And so we were all watching TV downstairs. My sister we were sitting on the ground. I don't remember where you were at, but my sister was sitting on the ground just watching TV, and out of nowhere, Jake like snaps at her. And this has never happened. Like, he's never barked, been aggressive, anything like that.
Toward us at
all. And so we're like, what the heck was that?
It was a complete, like, behavioral difference.
Yeah. And then, but after that, like, he was perfectly fine. So it was just some weird things.
See, what I remember that after that incident, Mo had said that she had seen something trying to grab her, and that's why he bit her. That's what I thought, because that's what ended up, like, Jake was trying to protect her from whatever was trying to grab her.
Yeah. Or bite at whatever was trying to grab her.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. Those are like the early memories of that.
We were all pretty young. I think I was in first grade.
Yeah, I was in fourth grade. So that was kind of like the first, right? And we kind of heard those stories from my mom and dad, like, after the fact.
But didn't they also say, like, when they bought the house, that there were, like, they had been told that it was supposedly haunted?
I don't remember. I haven't heard them say that.
I don't know.
It was just always kind of creepy though in that house.
Oh no, it definitely was. It was a very.
I slept walk a lot in that house, and I wasn't normally a sleepwalker.
Not to mention all of the freaking mice that were running throughout there that creeped us out.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Do you know how many times we, like, we'd see one scattering across the kitchen, and we'd like jump on top of
And
the
like
counters.
we're from the Southwest in Arizona, like we don't normally see mice in our houses. So going to a place where you live next to a field in Colorado and there's always mice in your house, like those things followed us too, like in
Yeah,
our
they did. They
boxes and stuff.
legitimately followed us to Tucson.
Yeah,
It was
when we came
crazy.
back, it was hilarious. But so that being said, there was another incident when we were younger. I think this was more like high school time frame, maybe middle high school. Again, we all kind of slept together or shared rooms because of like fears and things like that. And so me and Monique we had a bunk bed, but we slept together on the top bunk. And she wakes up in the middle of the night. Now, again, we're scaredy cats, so the light is kind of dim. We could dim our fan lights. And the light was kind of dim. She wakes up and she looks at me and she said, Christy, when the little boy is done playing my trumpet, tell him to put it away. And I was like, what? And she goes, when the little boy is done playing with my trumpet, please tell him to put it away. Because she played the trumpet. And I looked around our room and there's her trumpet box. And I was like, okay, Monique, go back to sleep. I was just like, freaked me out.
I guess most of the hauntings take place with Mo, don't it?
Yeah.
Because there's actually another time too, and I want to say, I don't remember. I don't think it was quite. It could have been middle school, it could have been high school, but I was laying in my room, and like the next morning, she comes to me and she's like, "It was creepy." She's like, "It sounded like you were calling me. Like you were like, Mo, like come here, come here." And then she goes in the room, and I'm fast asleep. I didn't say anything. And she was really creeped out by it. And just for reference, like Mo didn't want to go anywhere at all by herself at night.
She was always scared of going anywhere and doing things. And that might be it. She might have been seeing like some crazy stuff. But that was like those early experiences. The next one that is really prevalent in my brain, things that I remember, I was in high school, my freshman year, I was doing yearbook. And we were taking pictures in the hallways and things like that. And so we got to have our own digital cameras. And it was one time after school, me and my friends, I was getting stuff out of my locker. My friend took a picture of me, not knowing anything. So then later, when we went to go look at the pictures and edit the pictures, there is a figure, a face right behind my head that is clearly a face, but also transparent and also just crazy looking.
Like, yeah, it's one of the creepiest photos I think you have, because you can see it really clearly. Like a lot of paranormal photos you see, like there's like, oh, it's a little figure way in the background. This thing is like right next to your face.
Yeah, like you can see it really like pronounced, like its eyes, its nose, its mouth, like you see
the figure of it, like the contour of its face, you can really see. And I remember, like, there was somebody behind you. There had to have been somebody behind you. And you're like, no.
Well, you can see, if you look to the left of me, there's a space in between me and the locker. You can see a solid figure behind me. So you can see that there is a person behind me on one of the sides. But on the other side, you can see this face.
And this was with what, early
digital camera.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you can make the argument, maybe it could have been old technology messing up and whatever, but I mean, then why wasn't there more of those?
Right. And how
do you still have the photo?
I do still have the photo.
Okay,
I'll put it up.
Yeah, we'll have to put it on the Instagram.
We'll put it on the Instagram because it is creepy. And then there was another picture that I had. There was a small park by our house, and when I was a teenager, I would just like drive around and like go different places. But me and one of my friends were driving by that park, and it was at night, and there was the swing, and it was swinging. There was no wind or anything, and the swing was swinging, and we were freaking out, like, haha, joke. We took a picture, and I can't find this picture for the life of me, but we took a picture together, like kind of making scared faces. And if you look in the back window, the rear window, you see this ugly looking girl figure in the back of the window.
So this is interesting. I do actually remember seeing this photo. I don't remember. I think you see it a little bit more clear than I do. I do remember seeing like a vague silhouette of something. Mm-hmm. I don't. You say like creepy little girl. I don't remember.
No, you don't see little girl. Like I'm saying, it's just the face, like in the back window. It was so weird and so creepy. We're like, oh my god. No, I can. That one I write it off to like the flash because we were in a car.
Yeah, that one was a little bit more like like you could see it could be like the grain of the photo that kind of like
Create
could have
it.
made it, and
Yes.
then that whole illusion where like you see faces and everything
Mhm.
could have been that one. I would say compared to the last one you just mentioned, like
Mhm.
that one is like you can see a person. This
Mhm.
next one that you just mentioned is just like that one to me, at least personally from what I remember seeing it, was a little bit more like
You could write it
interpretive.
off. Yeah, you could write it off to like the effects of whatever was happening with the camera. So
Right.
that I think that's why that one's kind of gone lost, right? That's
Because
why
it
I didn't
wasn't
keep
as
it
like
as
crazy.
like I couldn't fully explain like that is a ghost,
It's
right?
just kind of crazy that it happened right after seeing this
Yes,
swing.
that was what was interesting to me. But that one I kind of wrote off, also because it was like in my neighborhood, right by my house, and I didn't want to see any more ghosts like here or there. So I kind of write it off.
I
So
will
those.
say, like, between like Mo has obviously seen a bunch of stuff. You've seen a
Mhm.
bunch of stuff. I haven't really seen a bunch of stuff, which
You haven't
compared to
had
you
any
guys.
experiences at all.
So I've had like maybe one or two at most. And like for example, the one that I remember the most is we were having a lockdown drill in middle school,
Mhm.
and we were in the musical theater room, which is called the Black Box. So thing about this room is there's no windows. There's one door, well, two doors, because there's one to like going to the backstage.
Mhm.
And we were in lockdown, so we had to have like all the lights off. There was like a couple of lamps on, and we were all just kind of sitting there waiting, like you know how you do in a lockdown. And then I remember I like looked to the right because I saw something run past, and my brain's going, oh, one of the kids got up and they're being silly and they're running around. And then I look towards my friend, and she looks back at me. She goes, I saw it too.
Oh no.
And we're like looking around because it didn't like there nothing else moved. There was nothing else there.
Yeah, that was our
It-
middle school.
yeah,
We had experiences in the backstage of that.
and the PT, the what is it called? What was it called? The
theater, but I don't remember what it was
The
called.
P-Lab.
The P-Lab.
The
There you go.
P-Lab.
The P-Lab is basically the theater.
the performance lab.
Yeah,
short
it's
for-
connected to the Black Box, which we had put on plays and things like that because we were in drama, musical theater, and whatnot. So I've had also experiences there. Me and my friend Alana were sitting doing like the sets. We just hear like you just hear noises back there, and you're like, that's nothing, right? Like you write it off. I guess it's an older school, so you can like things are moving, and that's kind of what we wrote it off to be. And thankfully, we were together, so like we're like it's fine, we're fine.
probably nothing.
Yeah, it's fine.
good.
But they said that the P-Lab was haunted.
Yeah, but that's like one of the only experiences that I really remember. I'm sure there's probably a couple more, but that's like the main one that I saw myself. So like all my other ones are like through you guys and like secondhand.
Because the other one, like I have another picture of me, and remember like the Snapchat filters where you could take it with a friend and you could both be like dogs, or you could both be like bunnies or whatever. So I had done one of those like dog ones you do with your friend kind of thing. But if your friend's not there, it's just going to be it just goes on you, right?
Right.
The effect. And so I was there taking a picture, and all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, the dog thing pops up. Like as if someone else is right there with me. And I was like, what the hell? So like I moved, and it kind of moved in a different direction, kind of came back, and I was like, oh my God, okay. I like posed, I took the picture, and I like ran. This was in our California house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when we lived in California. And I was like, what? Because David was in the bathroom, and I'm just like, nope. Like I didn't want to deal with it. I saw it, like I have that picture too. I'll post that picture. It's kind of weird. And you can kind of see eyes in the picture.
I feel like when those filters came out, there was a lot of people with posting like, what the heck is that?
Yeah, like it's something's right there. Yeah, it's so weird.
I think one of the other like very prominent things, like haunted places that I remember too, is actually, if we back it up a little bit before your California home, when we worked at the daycare. So this is the thing, is I never experienced, I know people experience things there. I never experienced anything there. And I did, like, you did feel like an eerie presence in there, because I would stay late with my mom while they would do like late paperwork and whatnot. And I would have to go, there was one room in particular, do you remember the way back room?
The baby room.
That one too, but it just felt the creepiest, where I had to go, like the lights were like farther away and you had to like run through the room just to get out. So I remember like knowing what everybody said about it and just kind of like trying to face my fear, like, you know what, if I see something, I see something. So I'd go turn off the light, and then I'd come back and I'd be like looking around, and it was just like, nope, I didn't see nothing. Okay, cool. And then I would like run out of there. But I know that our mom, heard some things. And I know, like, one of the other teachers, like, one of the stories I remember is it was early morning. There were a couple of kids there. There were like 2 little boys, 1 little girl, and the little girl was maybe like 1 or 2. And like one of the teachers was there, so it's the teacher and my mom, and they're sitting there, and suddenly they hear a voice that goes, "Teacher, leave me alone." And they like look at each other like, what was that? Because mind you, the younger kid doesn't have that vocabulary like that, and the other ones were boys, and so it's just, and they said it was distinct, like a little girl's voice, and it was just like, oh, okay. And they kind of just like, oh, well, we're just gonna ignore that and keep going.
Yeah. No, they would say, like, the lady in the baby room, the teacher in the baby room said that was the room that was the most haunted. Or they could say, like, you would be watching because there were security cameras in there, so you'll watch the cameras and you see the cradles or the cribs move every once in a while. I never saw it, but they would say that she's seen it.
Didn't you have an experience there with the toys?
I don't remember that one. Mariano did have an experience. He was a baby, so he was a few months old, and they say, like, Mariano's had several experiences with ghosts and things like that. But he was a baby at the time, and they said it was nap time, and so everybody's sleeping, and he was in the swing, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's no wind, there's no nothing, the door just swings wide open, and that she said Mariano just screamed, cried. None of the other babies woke up. Everybody was still sound asleep. There was no wind in sight.
Was he when he had been sleeping?
He was sleeping.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And then I heard there was another story. The lady had told that one of the teachers in there that no one really liked, and she was kind of mean to the kids. They had the closet. They have a closet, and she went into the closet, or there was like towels and things in that back closet in the baby room, and that she went to go open the door, and it just pulled it closed. She tried to open it and it pulled it closed back again. So
I could have sworn that you had a story where you were watching the kids and you were talking to them, and then all of a sudden all the toys flew off the shelf.
Oh yeah, was it the shelf, or was it the changing table? But yes, I remember that now. It was early morning because I would go with my mom in the morning, and yeah, the toys just went poof, they flew off the shelf, and it's like, okay, that's nothing.
Because you said all the kids like,
yeah, everybody looked, and I was just like, yeah, no, it's fine, we're cool, it's good, this happens, it was just the wind, like, just trying to explain it away. Yeah.
Speaking of Mariano, the other place that I remember being like the creepiest was your Star Pass apartment.
Oh yeah, if there was for sure something dark and evil in that apartment, like,
right. You want to explain that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, there was just this apartment in this, it's called like the Star Pass area of Arizona. It's like this mountain, and it's next to the mountain. But anyways, we lived in this apartment, bottom floor, and Mariano
he was like 2, wasn't he?
He wasn't 2 yet, because I was pregnant with Cristiano, and I think he was just turned 1, actually. Because it was his baptismal, because he had gotten this saint, like, so in our culture we get these like little saint figurines for like babies or people, and we have them in our house and things like that. So one of his grandmas had gotten him this little saint, and there was a 2-bedroom, so he had a room. He was baby 1, he was barely walking. We had this tall dresser in there, and that's where I put the saint in that room. During the day it was fine for him to go in there, and he would play, and he'd be talking baby talk to I would just think he was just talking baby talk. And then at night he refused to be in that room, like refused to be in the room at night. And one day I had gone in there to like clean, and I went and saw the dresser, and the saint was turned facing the corner of the room, like on the shelf, the high shelf. The dresser was in the corner of the room, so the saint little figurine was turned and in the corner in that room. And I was like, I thought for sure Mariano's dad had like moved it, or I was like, and I asked him about it, and he's like, no. I was like, okay. So I turned it back around, left it, forgot about it. A little bit later, a couple days later, weeks, I don't know, I can't tell time back then, it was back in the corner, like turned around, and I was like, okay, we're not doing this anymore. I put that same thing away. But there was other times where I'd be in there. So I have dreams, And so I was pregnant at the time, and I had this dream. We had this big, like, gaudy bed where the posts were really thick and big, and the back, the
Headboard.
headboard was really big and wooden. So we had this really, it was given to us by my mother-in-law at the time. And so I remember in my dream, this figure, this dark figure, picked me up from my feet, slammed me against the bed post, picked me up, put me back down. And it was just this crazy. I woke up in a panic and I was like, oh my God, crazy. Okay, it was just a nightmare, whatever. Well, a few days later, I had this giant bruise on the hip that was slammed against the bedpost. And I was like, oh, that's not normal, because I wasn't doing anything like to cause a bruise that big
Right.
because I was pregnant.
Obviously.
And so I was like, all right. So I tried not to stay in that house. I tried to, like,
I remember one night, like, sleeping over, and, like, I never experienced anything ever. But the feeling of being in that house was just, it was like you just felt weird. Something
was
just felt
unsettling.
off.
Mhm.
And I don't even think I knew about this stuff when I was staying the night.
Mhm.
But I remember, like, distinctly, like, me and Mariana, we slept in the living room.
Mhm.
Like, we wouldn't sleep in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and I just, like, feeling uncomfortable. And I remember, because I was with Andres at that point, he came to pick me up, and I remember we were just walking out of it, and even, like, the atmosphere around it just felt off, and it was, like, windy, and, like, the trees were scratching the top of the parking spot, so it was just like, like, it was just like, after having just leave that creepy space, and I was just like, I mean, like I said, never saw anything, but it just felt, that house felt off.
Yeah. No, for sure. I didn't like living there. And as soon as our lease was up, we got out of there right away. It was just not a good experience in that house. But I mean, then we, like you said, fast forward into, like, some of the other houses we lived in, and most of the experiences, like, my son had, and he talked about this long man and this backwards baby going down our hallway. We had this long hallway in that house.
I hate long hallways.
Yeah, and that he said the backwards baby, just imagine like a crab walk, like, but a baby in a crab walk looking like the other way. Like, that's what he said it would look like. And he's at this time like 3 years old.
Yeah, like 3.
And he was explaining the way these things looked, and he didn't have things to watch. We didn't watch scary movies. We didn't see anything like that for him to, like, know or, like, create these based off things he watched. So it was really weird. When we were first in there too, he'd say, oh, I'm playing with the Tata monster. Like, he was running around playing in the other room, and he was like, what are you doing,
for those who
baby?
don't know, Tata is grandfather.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm playing with the Tata monster. And I was like, oh, okay. And after he said that, like, we had the house blessed and everything like that. So that house was crazy. Then the other, like, we went to when we were in California, like I said, had that weird thing happen. We also had some, like, orbs on the security camera. And I've posted this on my social media.
I'm 100% honest with you. I'm very skeptical of orbs.
Well, just the way they were floating to me was really interesting. It could have been bugs, dust, all those things, but it's just the idea of the way they were floating, like, could be paranormal. That's what I thought. I've posted on my social media before. If I can find it, I'll repost it here. But usually a lot of these experiences I have are by myself.
Yeah.
Except for one.
Okay. Which one?
We're in our house in El Paso.
Okay.
David
so now
and
we move forward to El Paso.
Yeah, my husband and I were in our house in El Paso. We were getting ready to pack. We were going to a trip in Hawaii. Gordy was just a couple years old, so he's barely learning how to talk. Doesn't really talking at this point. He's like a little bit over 1 year old at this point. Our other son, who was in the house, Noah, he was 16 at the time. We were packing, and so David calls out, Noah, and he's here. Yes, sir. Bring me the suitcases, please, from downstairs. Okay, so we're cool. We're putting our stuff, we're packing and things like that. And we're like, where's Noah? Like, their suitcases are just downstairs. Like, why hasn't he brought us the suitcases yet? So then he calls out again, Noah. So Noah comes to our doorway, looks at us. He goes, where are my suitcases? And Noah looks at us, like, really puzzled, like, what are you talking about? He's like, the suitcases. I asked you to get the suitcases. And he goes, I've been showering. So I look up, and his hair's wet. And David looks at me, and he goes, you heard that, right? And I was like, I sure did hear it. We heard a, yes, sir. Like, and it wasn't Noah. Noah was in the shower. He didn't hear us. He didn't know what we were talking about. clear as day. That was the first time I've experienced it with someone else, like
That's
happening
hilarious
like that.
though. He's like, I was in the shower.
Yeah, David was like, and David's skeptical about all of this stuff too, but that was the first time he was like, what the hell? I was like, yep, welcome to my world. So I can't think of any recent experiences.
I was gonna ask, like, have you had any recent ones?
I get feelings every once in a while, or I feel things, and it could just be in my head. Sometimes, because they say like different things can attach to you from different places,
Right.
or they'll follow you home, or things like that. Like I've definitely felt some things every once in a while. Recently felt like a bad thing. It could have just been my feelings, but like what I learned from the curandero, or the guy that came and blessed the house, when we had the house with Mariana with the backwards baby. He said that you have power over your house and your home, and you can send it out. You can send whatever it is that you're feeling, send it away. He said, just open a door, open a window, tell it to get out, and you have the control to do that.
That was the one thing I was really glad when we moved into our house, our new house. I was just like, I don't get any bad vibes here. Like it feels nice. It feels at peace. Whereas you go into some houses and like you can feel the history of the place. And I was just like, this place feels nice. And I was really glad for that.
Yeah.
Like we do have a hallway, but it's not too long.
No, and I have never felt anything weird in this house either.
Yeah.
Like it's always has been like pretty peaceful, pretty things like that.
What about your house? This one here in.
That's kind of where I felt the feelings, but I've never seen or felt or feel anything. It comes like those I said, like those things that come and go.
What about Nana's house?
Definitely Nana's house. There's been some weird things happening lately, and like we were sitting there, and all of a sudden this lamp just starts flickering, and I was like, okay, and I was like, ooh, the ghost, right? And then Nana was like, no, don't say that. I was like, I don't know. I'd rather
Nana's
be
very terrified.
Right, but
anything paranormal.
Yeah, but I was like, I'd rather it be a ghost than some electrical problem that you're gonna have to pay for. She's like, oh wait, yeah, that's true. And then we were sitting there, and the light in the kitchen, one of the lights in the kitchen, just started flickering the same kind of flicker, and I was like, oh, the ghost is there too. And then something else later, that same happening in one of the other rooms, like something made a noise, and I was just like, oh.
That would freak me out more if I didn't know that there was like a lot of electrical things in that house.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can explain things away.
I used to live there, and there were plenty of times where like in the back room things would just shut off, and it was like, we gotta go restart the breaker again.
Right. So there's things that feel uneasy in that. I think it always has kind of felt like things are in that house, but nothing too extreme where I've been like afraid or anything like that.
I can't really think of any other places that have been like haunted other than your apartment, house, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Oh, where I got married, the 100-year hotel. No, we didn't see anything. We had a guest that said that she went because it was supposedly haunted.
Isn't that where like Marilyn Monroe?
This hotel, the Santa Maria Hotel, was the stopping point from LA to San Francisco that a lot of celebrities would stop at and stay on their way up the coast. And so there's like a Marilyn Monroe room, there is a Charlie Chaplin room, there's like different rooms that different people had stayed in, right? There's a lot of hauntings or weird things that have happened in that hotel. Like it's famous for those types of things. Which is surprisingly, like, I was like, oh, we're gonna do our wedding here and stay here. Like, it's kind of creepy, but
it was very pretty.
It was a really pretty hotel, really old fashioned. Like, it was really cool. And so I didn't feel anything or see anything while I was there. One of our guests, though, said the bathroom near where the hall was at. She went into the bathroom, went into one of the stalls, sat down, heard someone angrily come in, shut one of the other stall doors, and she was like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with that person? She's done. She leaves. As she's walking out of like the stall towards the sinks, there was no one there. There was like no one in the stalls or in the bathroom, and she's like freaking out, right? So she washed her hands.
Would you ever want to stay at haunted places?
Well, we stayed at that hotel.
Well, yeah, but like, you know how they do on like the paranormal shows where they stay at places and they just watch for things and they put up their mics and they listen to like the Queen Mary, for example.
I'd have to be in a really, really good mindset.
You stayed at the hotel in Bisbee, didn't you?
Not the haunted one. We stayed next to it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't feel anything, honestly. You feel a little creepy just because you know the idea of it, but there were some areas where I did feel weird things. In some areas, it's almost like the room feels like there's like the air is dense. All of a sudden, the air gets dense. When I have these feelings, it feels like the air is dense. Like you can definitely feel like something's watching you or something's in the presence of it.
How much of it do you think is like the hype of like, oh, because obviously ghost spots really attract tourists.
Mhm.
Like you guys went to tour that haunted hotel. I know in Bisbee, the other, like, because we stayed in Bisbee, we stayed in a place called the Schoolhouse, and that one is supposedly haunted too, which honestly didn't see anything when we stayed there. We stayed in the music room, and there were like a bunch of creepy dolls everywhere.
Mhm.
But I do remember waking up like 3 o'clock in the morning and just like looking around and like not being able to fall back asleep. But I never saw anything there. So I'm just wondering, do you think a lot of this is just hype?
I think some of it might be. Like I think, like I said, there's sometimes where you put things in your mind that you see, but they're not really there. Like we talked about on the last episode, like you're looking at the pile of clothes sitting, in your room, and you're like, that's a figure, like that is something, and you're like, oh wait, no, it's not. It's just clothes.
It's just close.
So for me, I've experienced it. I'm not going to try and convince anybody else. Like, there's your own happenings, there's your own things. There's just been enough things in my life that I'm like, yeah, I see some people and I'm like, yeah, I believe you that something's happened
Yeah,
to you.
I would think that, because to me, the most like convincing thing is that you can't destroy energy. So where does that energy go when you die? And
Like scientifically.
like scientifically, yeah. So I'm one of those people who are like, I'm not opposed to the fact that ghosts may be real. I haven't seen many things, but I've obviously heard many stories. And the people who who explain these stories, like they really believe they saw something. Like you can see it in their eyes, you can see the fear.
Mhm.
So it's just like, why would all these people be lying about these specific things? Even the people who are like the most like, I'm skeptical, but I saw this.
Mhm.
And so it's just like, I don't think people are making that up. I do think, the brain can make up some things.
Mhm.
I do think the brain is an explanation for a lot of the things people see and feel. But overall, I'm not like, I wouldn't completely rule it out.
Right.
Like, I do think that there could possibly be a scientific reason for like leftover energy or things like that.
Mhm.
So that's my take.
Yeah. And, we'll never know, really. Like, do I want it to be true? No. Some random things following me around or
I mean,
just.
when you think about the evil things, but when you think about the fact that like you have a loved one or somebody who's like,
Yeah, that's true.
then it's just kind of like, oh,
Sure. But there's the good and evil, and I just prefer nothing. But I can't say nothing because I've had too many experiences. So, that being said, if you've got theories or secrets of your own, send them to us on Instagram at Society of BS or tag hashtag Society of BS or hashtag Open Transmission so the others can find you. Thank you for joining us here at A Beautiful Sunday Podcast. I'm Christine.
And I'm Selena.
This is another tale for the archives. Heart open, mind odd, sun high.
And if there's something lingering after the credits, you might be lost in transmission.